One thing you will notice that I've noticed in my short time in Bogota, there's graffiti, very prevalent. Even in the Chapinero, which is a nice money area of the city, it's just very prevalent. However, look at some of this artwork. Some of these graffiti artists are damn good. It's interesting, it's colorful, there's talent. I mean, these are talented artists, literally. I've never seen so much graffiti in any city I've been to in the world so far. Perfect day, crisp, clear air, not too cold, little bit of a breeze. Bogota es amor. Bogota is love. Actually, it reminds me of a girl I once dated. Say, gracias. We're all happy. I had to take care of him because a mime is a terrible thing to waste. But hey everybody, we are still here in beautiful Colombia. We're in a different section of the city. We're not in the city central anymore. We are in Zona G, Zone G, which is the G stands for gastronomy. And the gastronomy scene in Colombia is actually very young, very undeveloped yet, but that's changing very rapidly. There was not a lot of diversity formerly in the country of Colombia. So they had things like ajiaco, which we'll also get into another time. They had unique dishes and unique ways of cooking, but the gastronomy scene right now is just skyrocketing in this country. And we're about to go to a restaurant, Contra Corriente, and sample. We're going to meet the head chef and see how some of these new ideas are created and get to eat some of them. That's my favorite part. So come on, let's do it. Hey, hola Viktor.
How are you?
Good, how are you, sir? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So welcome to Contra Corriente. It's our new place. We mainly cook here seafood, fish, and based on Colombian produce in a modern way, I would say.
So modern gastronomy with, and this is the key part here, local Colombian ingredients across the board.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's the key point. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So let me show you the kitchen. Let's go upstairs.
Let's do it, yeah.
It's an open kitchen. We have a wood open fireplace. So we cook as well fresh fish as raw fish and ceviche and the pastry side.
So what dishes did you recommend for us to see prepared and to taste today? We had a good taste for the new gastronomy.
Empanadas. So we do it in a different way with squid ink, shrimp and chontaduro, which is a local fruit from Valle Cauca. We could try a brand new dish, fish hot dog.
Fish hot dog?
Yeah, so we make a fresh fish sausage. We mainly use the belly from all the fresh fish coming from the Pacific coast, as well as the fatty parts of the fish. We use the belly from a trout coming.
Freshwater fish.
Yeah, freshwater fish, exactly. So it's like a mix. It's a trout coming from Duitama, Boyacá region, which is a mountain region.
Wow, so it's a mix of, you need the fat, I guess, from the belly.
Exactly.
Of the trout, the fat,
Yeah,
you don't have much of it in sausage.
Exactly, to emulsify and make and retain the juice of the meat.
It sounds delicious already.
And as well, we can do like a really famous dish, which is the tacos, but we make it in with a mix of flavors from San Andres. San Andres, it's a small Caribbean island of Colombia, and they make a soup, very famous soup, with pigtail and shrimp, which is like really original, and we use this mix for taco.
Is it correct? I might be wrong. It's like an Afro-Colombian or Afro-Caribbean dish that you're describing.
Exactly.
When you say the pig rump with shrimp.
Exactly. It's exactly this. Let's cook.
Let's do it.
First we'll cook the sausage. In the meanwhile, cook the bread in the steamer and then on the barbecue. Come in, Rich. Come to the kitchen. Let me introduce you, Dwayne. Dwayne is the sous chef here. Dwayne.
Nice to
Richard. Nice to meet you.
Dwayne is actually from San Andres, the island.
Oh,
we
it's
were
from the
talking
island we just talked about. San Andres.
So we'll start with the fish sausage on the barbecue. This is a homemade sausage we do here. We'll first steam the breads and then cook it on the barbecue. So in the restaurant we cook any protein on the barbecue.
Always grilled.
Shrimp, sausage, fillets, fish fillets. So these are the elements of the sausage actually. We have kind of pickled relish with cucumber.
Pimienta.
Pimenton.
Pimenton, a hot one.
Yeah. And we have, this is a crunch made with onions and a variety of potatoes from Colombia. We love to play with the local ingredients, and that's why you can see they are a bit, pink or purple, because the potatoes have this color.
Oh, okay.
We made it with leek actually to give a twist. This is a mayonnaise with spices and tucupi. You know the indigenous ingredients we've been talking.
I see. But this is not picante. This is
just a bit.
tiny bit. And this is the leek, no problem.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's fried leek. First steam the breads and then roast it on the barbecue. We just put a bit of pork fat on it. I love to mix pork and beef fat with fish. We're just waiting for the sausage to cook, and then we set the hot dog here. Take like 2 minutes.
And we just assemble it. So Victor, I told you I'm from the United States.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
I'm actually from France.
France.
But I love traveling. I've been traveling a lot, and I lived a few years in Colombia. I'm chef from my years in France, in Michelin star restaurants, in London as well. That's why I've been learning English there. And then we set first a bistro restaurant next to Chapinero. And then like a year ago, I really wanted to make a fish restaurant because there is a very, very nice produce in the fresh produce in the Pacific coast.
Now you chose Colombia and Bogota in particular because of the local ingredients, the seafood, or?
Because I love food first of all. With this job you have this liberty to walk anywhere in the world. Life made we set in Colombia, I don't really know why. It's like adventure, kind of.
But it's funny because the gastronomy scene is just really starting in Colombia.
Absolutely.
And it's starting on full throttle.
Yeah.
So it's like you just picked Colombia and it turns out that's your passion. And here you are at the ground floor, basically,
yeah,
of that
definitely.
movement.
Because I think because people love food in Colombia, it's this country is developing as well. Tourism is developing. People is traveling for food as well, and we have lots of amazing ingredients. This is the perfect situation to make a nice gastronomy, and we can see there is plenty of amazing restaurants.
To say it really worked out well for you, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So it's really important for us to set the proper temperature. It can be a sausage, which is a very simple ingredient. You have to cook it perfectly to maintain the juice, perfect flavor as well.
So we're at the perfect temperature for flavor-wise.
Exactly. For any protein we cook here, we measure the temperature. So this sausage, we took like more than a year to set it exactly as we want it. We use like 20 ingredients.
Wow.
We use like fermented mushroom and miso.
Fermented mushroom.
Exactly, but a very tiny part. So we use miso as well, which is a Japanese ingredient. And we make a sauce from the bones, roasted bones.
Oh, stock.
Exactly, stock, a fish stock. We use as well pork fats in the recipe. Relish.
The relish. Onion, pimenton, some fruta. Cucumber.
Fish glaze. It's like a meat sauce, but made with fish bone, potatoes and onion crunch. This is the lightly spicy and tucupi mayonnaise.
Even a nice presentation on a hot dog. That's a lot of flavor going on. Look at that. Muchas gracias.
Con todo el gusto, bueno.
I know we called this a fish hot dog before. I think you would agree this is a little more than a hot dog. It's the fish sausage, we'll call it that. The toppings, the homemade mustard. There's a lot of different flavors going on here all at the same time. So I'm just gonna try to take a bite without making too much of a mess and get all the flavors at once and see what the combination is. But I'm expecting to be blown away, so I'm gonna relocate him to a better neighborhood. And here she comes. Flavors come together and make a, I think they like the word umami. That's very common in food these days. You can identify all the ingredients, but they don't compete with each other. They don't stand out. They blend. So it's very, very tasty. It's delicious. This is a gourmet hot dog, if you must call it a hot dog. A little messy, but that's part of the fun. Well, I gobbled the whole thing down, or should I say inhaled, because it was so damn delicious. The steamed bun with a little pork fat smeared on it, you'll always notice that. It's definitely better than smearing butter on a roll, let me tell you. And then the homemade mustard, like Viktor described how that was made. It's not like a store-bought mustard by any stretch of the imagination. It has a distinct flavor. You know it's a mustard, but it's fabulous. And then the way it contrasts with the semi-sweetness of the relish, with the onions and pepper. It's the combination. And then you have on top of that, the crunchy leeks on top. So like I said, before I ate it, I said, I know there's a lot of flavor going on in there. And there is, but they don't compete with each other. They all get along as good friends. So that was my take on, and calling it a hot dog doesn't do it justice. I call it a fish sausage. Now looking forward to the next dish. I'm going to finish that too, by the way.
Okay. So now we'll prepare our version of tacos. It's a classic of our restaurant. The taco is actually a Mexican preparation,
yeah.
But this mix of flavors, which is pigtail and shrimp, is from San Andres Island. So we'll first cook the pigtail, shrimps, and tortillas, and actually the proper tail as well.
Oh, the tail itself.
And it's really
The actual tail. I did not know that. That's a be a first for me. Yeah.
interesting because the sauce is really sticky from the gelatin. So we make it really crunchy afterwards. It's really interesting, a really nice part to cook.
So the pig fat, basically.
So we use pork fat as well to cook the shrimp. So this shrimp comes from the Pacific coast as well.
That's sauce, that fish sauce.
Ce fondo es cerdo, ¿no? And this is pig glaze as well.
Yes,
so
that's
we reduce the
one from before, right?
Exactly. So we cook first the tail as a stew, and reduce the sauce to season the shrimp.
Okay.
So it's like
It's a reduction, a stock reduction.
exactly.
Basically.
It's all about it's all about like simple food, but details matters. So
Well, I agree with you there. And that looks like a mix. I see some red, so there's got to be a little picante in there.
And this is kind of tahine, homemade tahine.
Toasted avocado. I like that. I've never seen a toasted avocado like that before. And a little acid from the lime. Make that.
This is definitely Colombian. Lemon everywhere. This is the same fermented.
The fermented hongo mushroom.
Mushroom. Produced to season. So you have plenty of fresh fruit and veg. But if you want to season like you do in Asia or in Europe, you don't have much produce for that. So you have to invent it. That's why we use chucupi, which is a Colombian traditional produce. We ferment, we do garum, we do stocks. So all this fresh preparation give the flavor.
Learning these little tricks and nuances, like I've never thought of flame throwing on an avocado like that. Brilliant. All I know is I got to get me one of those flamethrowers too. And that's a soft taco, I can see.
Exactly. Tortilla, pigtail, gives a slightly smoked flavor as well. These are coriander cress,
Coriander sprout.
and we serve it with spicy mayonnaise.
Another potpourri of flavor mixed in one dish. One simple, we'll call it simple, straightforward.
It's straightforward, exactly.
Taking a taco or a hot dog like before to the 10th degree.
So,
Thank you, Victor.
taquitos de cola de cerdo y camarón, aguacate, pimentón y mayonesa picante para ponerlo directamente en el plato.
Mayo poquito picante.
Sí, poquito picante.
Gracias, Victor. I thought it was originally the pork butt. It is literally, as Dwayne said, the pig tail that they take the meat off the bone. So, pig tail with the shrimp. I'm going to put the spicy mayo on, well, my taco. More flavors going on than the fish hot dog that we had before, believe it or not. Because you have a lot of distinction. The torched avocado actually gives a smokiness. You can taste the cilantro, of course, the cilantro sprouts, and the slow-cooked pigtail. The meat is just so tender from the slow cooking process, of course. The spicy mayo, a little bit of heat, not like, oh my God, it's very hot. Just enough to complement the flavors in the taco.
So the last dish is a very famous Colombian street food. I eat it every day. It's called empanadas.
Empanada.
So the form is normally like a half moon. We do it as a triangle. We use squid ink to make it black, and the content is shrimp and chontaduro. Chontaduro is a fruit from the coast as well.
Oh, coastal,
So like
okay.
the Colombian coast, we use a very nice cheese. It's a kind of fresh cheese called suero. So we smoke the suero and we make a kind of gel.
You look like a pastry chef right now. What was the name of that cheese again? Did I say it correctly?
Suero costeño.
Suero.
And we make kind of tajín like in Mexico, but with fresh elements.
Even those empanadas have a nice presentation, don't they?
And the last street food dish from Colombian streets, camarón, empanadas de camarón y chontaduro y suero costeño ahumado.
I'm anxious to see how the camarón, the shrimp, mixes with all this going on. There's a lot going on, but we've seen the previous two dishes how well they've come together.
Pero eso le falta una
Hace calor.
gran cantidad. 180.
The consistency is definitely of a traditional empanada, except this uses some ingredients that are, again, local to Colombia. And nice chunks of the chunks of the shrimp in there as well. A nice mix. The cheese is interesting. It's very mild, yet it still has a slightly salty flavor to it, which is no surprise with a cheese. You would never think of putting a cheese sauce on an empanada. At least I would never think of that. But as usual, Victor's creations just work properly. They come together beautifully. A lot of meat in it, a lot of camarón, a lot of shrimp meat in there. I'd say the tacos definitely are number one. This is my opinion now. I would have the empanadas tied with the fish sausage. Believe it. They're just two very different things. But the fish sausage was just too delicious, again, with all the ingredients and flavors going on at the same time. So I may inch that one slightly ahead. So tacos, sausage, and empanadas. But they're all a winner, every one of them. And this ginger beer that they make in-house also is to die for. There's like endless supply of shrimp in a single empanada. You ain't gonna hear me complaining. Well, Victor, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for having us and taking your time and your time to show us your cuisine, your creations. And it was delicious food. So Contra Corriente, this food is just, I recommend you. If you come to Colombia, come to Bogota, you have to. If you appreciate good dining, you have to come to this restaurant and try it. And as I said in the intro, gastronomy is just beginning in Colombia. It's just starting now, basically. It's in its infancy. And if you're into gastronomy, you cannot skip Colombia anymore. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the episode. And until next time, hasta lasagna.
See you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was really delicious, and I learned from talking to you and watching you guys work. So